What's up? Welcome to another episode of Boss Pod. This is episode 12 with Dani Ivory. She is a keyboardist, singer-songwriter who has toured the world for many, many years with some amazing artists, including Beyonce, CeeLo Green, Gallant, and many, many more. She is a total powerhouse and a total girl boss. She and I have been in the same circle as far as being keyboardists for a very long time. And I'm really excited to talk to her because we are both becoming our own artists and doing our own thing outside of playing keys for other people and singing for other people. So I'm excited to have this conversation with Dani. This is going to be the first episode where I am not recording through Instagram. Caused too many problems with the guests as well as for my editor. It was always glitching and really, really annoying. So I hope that Zoom treats us a little bit better here and makes our lives a lot easier. So because this is not live streamed, I hope that these episodes become more personal and you get to know me and our guests and we open up and our conversation can maybe go deeper. I wanted to feel a little bit more personal, so I hope that this new Zoom platform will help us with that. If you want to support the podcast and be sure you don't miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/shenova, where all Boss Pod episodes are uploaded every Wednesday at noon. So every Wednesday, you can expect a premiere of a new Boss Pod episode. And if you're subscribed, you'll get the notification for it. I guess that's the bell thing that you have to do in order to get a notification. But if you're subscribed, chances are you'll see it. Also, if you want to watch all the rest of the episodes or listen to them, these episodes are on all podcast outlets, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any podcast outlet, we're on it. So you can find those episodes, all the episodes at shenova.co/bosspod. And if you're able to further support me and the podcast, please go to patreon.com/shenova and donate if you can. Without further ado, let's get into episode 12, Boss Pod with Dani Ivory. Let's go. Hope you enjoy the episode. Woo! Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Oh my goodness. You're so cool right now.
How are you? I love your
little
overall
hat and everything. When did you get cool? Oh wait, I already knew you were cool. You and your hat.
These hats, like these cool hats.
Do you remember when we were at Social State House that one time?
Oh, hat. Yes, I gave you my hat.
Yes, and we took that selfie and I was wearing, it was a snapback though.
It was a floral print.
Yes.
Floral print. Yeah.
So cute. Well, I love it, bringing it back. So let's just check and make sure everything is kosher. I think it is on my end. However, this is my first time doing a Zoom recording version of this. So
Okay.
if it's possible, I'd love it if you could record you as well. Is this
Am I supposed to play?
at all possible? Oh, you don't have to play anything. We're just talking, girl.
Okay, I just didn't know because I'm my studio room's over there, but I'm in a different.
Yeah, no, you're totally fine. I just want to be sure I don't lose any of this conversation. So I think that there's an option for you to record this meeting.
Yeah, I'll
as
hit
well.
record.
Okay. Just to be safe. Because I think I've got this covered, but just in case.
But I got you too.
Okay, awesome. Well, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Doing my thing. So it's been a minute since I've seen you. You don't live in California anymore.
No.
It's been a while, right? Where did you go?
Nashville.
Oh, I love it. That's the place in my mind that I was thinking about going if I ever left LA. Do you like it there?
Yeah, I do. It's big change from LA. So there's a lot of things that I miss about LA. I mean, I was there for a while, and especially if you grew up in LA and that's like what you know, it's different. I grew up in LA a lot. Wasn't born there, and I didn't go to college in LA, but I moved there right after college, so I kind of grew up there, you know, because when you grow up, it's not just like being taller. It's also like an internal change. It changed so much being in LA, just like meeting people and
you don't have that in Nashville?
It's different. The experience here is different. Yeah, definitely. But I'm in a different situation because now I have a child and I'm like, you know, living in a suburb and it's not like I'm, right in the heat of the city like I was in LA.
Yeah. And for anybody that doesn't know you, I gave you an introduction already that you were not privy to, but you've toured the world. Your quote unquote normal life before you moved, before your child, before all that, you were touring around with all these artists. And it was your song Blackout that I think kind of described how you feel about that the most. Am I right?
Yeah, it kind of, it got to be a little bit destructive.
Yeah. So explain that, because that seems to be like the goal for most musicians is to tour with artists, you know?
Yeah, things are different now. I think that like in the 80s, it was a whole different thing. It's like, oh my gosh, we're playing all this music and we're touring around the world and we're making all this money and let's do coke and let's do all these drugs and let's do all this stuff. Now it's different. It's like, how healthy can you live? But doesn't matter. Still, it's hard. It's hard. You know, even Avicii, like he basically committed suicide from having personal, I think, genetic, you know, he had a disposition to, maybe it was inherited that he would commit suicide, but not inherited, but inherent. However, his touring life was so stressful that he couldn't overcome it. And it's from changing time zones. It's from constantly being on the go. For him, it's even more exaggerated because, you know, his life, his livelihood, not just his livelihood, but other people's livelihoods were dependent on it. So,
so are you saying with how culture has changed without having drugs being kind of a normal thing to do as an artist, touring is like harder?
No, I'm just saying before drugs kind of was a buffer.
Yeah.
And now people don't really do as many drugs but they still do it just for fun. But it's like touring is generally it is a difficult life. It is not easy.
Yeah. Yeah. And what was the hardest part for you in it all?
I love touring. I love seeing the world. The hardest part is coming home and not really feeling like it's home. Coming home and being like, oh, I feel like I'm home. And then you're like, oh no, I have to make my bed. I have to go grocery shopping. And then like you're excited for all those things. And then at the same time you have this like dread of it too, because, oh my gosh, I actually have to like do what regular people have to do. And
you don't identify with that as much when you have been in that other lifestyle for so
when you're touring, you're staying in hotel rooms, your meals are cooked for you, you're on the, like, you don't have to be responsible for yourself in a way. All you have to be responsible for is showing up, making sure you're like playing the right music, making sure you're keeping on top of yourself, keeping yourself inspired, reading, you know, keep yourself educated, all that stuff. But you don't have to clean, you don't have to cook. You mean take care of your space wherever you are. But it's not like living at home where it's like, okay, every day I have to follow this schedule. I wake up, do this, make the bed, cook some breakfast. You know, you have a schedule when you're at home.
Yeah.
And there's a pro and con to it. I love my schedule at home now, but when I was touring, that was something that was a fear of mine.
Yeah. And you say stay inspired. I think that's kind of an interesting thing because I know you're an artist at heart. You're a writer. You're a creative mind. You're not just, you go out with these artists and you're playing music for them. And I'm sure that, there's a lot of inspiration that you can pull from them. But how different do you think it is for the artist versus the musicians along with the artist's experience on tour? Like, did you ever feel that pull as like an artist yourself that you're like, ugh, why am I here? I kind of want to do my own thing. Or is it you were so, connected and excited about what the artist was doing that kept you going? You know what I'm saying?
No, I wanted to do my own thing the whole time. I think most it's more prevalent than it has been ever. Until the pandemic, because I started to see a lot of my friends saying, "Oh, well, I write songs," and then you see these other keyboard players, and yourself included. Oh, well, they're not just playing. They're not just players. They're not just musicians. They're actual artists, and they have a following, and they're like actually, making a presence for themselves. So, yeah, I never really had the intention to be a sideman. I guess it's a sideman.
Do you feel like that on stage? Was that a feeling that you had to kind of...
Depends on the artist.
Okay, so it does depend. Okay.
Absolutely.
Who was it best with as far as going on stage and not needing to kind of pull yourself up for it?
Rye. I play in a band called Rye, RHYE.
Okay.
And hands down, the best band I've ever played with, just because of the vibe. There's no tracks. It's all live. I get to play Hammond organ. I get to sing. I know the singer. We hang out. I hang out with the band. Like, we all know each other, at least on tour. Like, when we go home, like, we might not talk every day, but we know each other on stage. Like, we feel each other. We know each other's kind of like musical hearts. And that is so important because music is such a personal thing.
Are you a part of their creative process and writing and recording?
Yes. Well, he has invited me into writing sessions, and it hasn't been the most convenient over the past 2 years because I've not been in LA. So I was invited before I left LA, and then I was also invited, but I was never able to make it.
Okay, so hold on.
I can't really just leave home and just like, let me go do a session in LA for fun. Like, no.
Why'd you go to Nashville then? Couldn't you have built your family here as well?
My husband, well, we had talked about moving to Nashville ever since we got married. Especially because we both knew we wanted to have a family together, 1 or 2 children, and just neither one of us is from Los Angeles, so we have no family. And when you start actually building a family, it's really, really important to have like blood close to you, because if you don't, it's really hard. So we decided, okay, well, we're going to try to move to Nashville because at least it's close to South Carolina, where my husband's from, so close to Pennsylvania, where I'm from. And his company actually moved from Chicago to Nashville.
Oh.
And it just made sense. I was pregnant, and then it was like, oh, your company's moving there. Oh, well, this just makes sense. Everyone's going there. Let's just go there. It's a music city.
Yeah.
So that's why I would love to stay in LA, but I have no family there. I had already kind of established my connections and my roots and stuff as much as I could. And it's like, all right, well, let's try new territory. Let's see how we fare in Nashville.
Well, you talk about blood, and I just moved about an hour closer to my family. And I'm outside of LA now, outskirts LA. Ooh. And I'm really adventurous. And it's even just me as a single girl with a cat. Like, sometimes a girl just needs her mom to come over and freaking help a girl out, you know? I think family's so underrated.
That's what you don't realize it. I mean, I left home a long time ago, and when I moved to LA, it was really hard because I was not in the vicinity of my family, like not even close.
And you weren't with your husband yet?
Drive to me overnight, even. Like it would take him 4 days to drive.
Right.
So it was like an eye-opening experience. And yeah, I was a single girl with not even a cat. Like I was a single girl. So I'm like in my
pay rent, so it's not too helpful, you know.
Yeah. No. What?
I said my cat doesn't pay rent though, so I don't know how helpful he is.
Your cat gives you a little bit of like comfort.
True.
That comfort is worth more than money, right?
True.
So yeah. Anyways,
I got him. Yeah.
Yeah. So having somebody close, and then if you have a child and you have to go do this and you have to go do that, you always have. First of all, it's not even the money. It's not about hiring a babysitter and how much it costs. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I have to leave my child with this person that I don't even know. Like, can I trust this person?
Too, like,
so if you have family, at least you have someone that you can trust. Like, okay, and then 99% of the time you don't have to pay them. You know, which is a perk.
So, can you tell us about your daughter? What's her name? And she's about a year old, right? A little over a year now.
Yeah, she's a year and a half now.
Okay.
Sierra Rain.
Oh, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And has that, because as a woman, I'm always very curious. I've got this maternal instinct. I don't know what it is, but I just want to be mama bear. Mama bear comes in and I know I'm going to be a mom someday. Has becoming a mother changed anything for you as an artist? Like how you write, how you think about the world?
I don't put pressure on myself like I used to. Now it's like, because being a musician is hard, being an artist is hard, and I love it, and I'll always be one. But it doesn't always give you the feedback or the reward that you maybe conjure up inside of your mind. Like, oh, I'm going to make this song, and I love the song, and then nobody loves it, and then you write a song, and like everyone loves it, but you don't love it. It's like, this weird thing. But being a mom, it's not about reward. It's just like, you give yourself, it's very similar, because you give yourself constantly without expecting reward. But with a child, you get a smile, or you get a hug, or like you get the reward is in the feeling, in like the actual physical human being that you created. And you don't always get that back being a musician. So I would say being an artist is harder than being a mom. Sorry.
Wow.
It's harder.
Being a mom's pretty tough. I'd say that's probably one of the harder jobs. So that's a lot to say.
You can make sacrifices. Like like I can't, I have to be cognizant of like where she is, I always have to you're always thinking of somebody else before yourself. That's what happens when you become a mom.
And do you think that's why some of the pressure has come off of you, because you have this new awareness of another human?
Yeah, I just don't put the pressure on myself anymore, because it's not about me anymore. Yeah, do I want to like write a hit song, and do I want to be a pop star? Of course, like I would, not even pop star. It's not even about that. It's more like, would I love to just tour the world on my own original music? Absolutely. But it's not about that anymore. It's about being able to make sure this human being can make it to the point where they want to have a dream, where they can learn to dream.
Is she singing? Is she acting like a little star herself?
She knows songs. She's very, very musical already. So she knows songs. Like she knows music more than she knows words. So.
Wow. Okay, so are you playing a lot? Is she exposed to a lot of music? Is that why?
She is, yeah. I play all the time. I'm always, sorry, I'm just moving around.
Yeah,
I'm always playing, but I also traveled and played the entire time I was pregnant with her.
oh,
She was
wow.
in 30 countries while I was touring, while, I was pregnant with her. And
Wow.
so she heard those vibrations or felt the vibrations. And ever since she's born, I play music all the time. Like, she responds to music very well.
Wow, that is so freaking cool, because I remember when I was growing up, my mom would play classical music, and she would tell me about how when you were just in my belly, I would play this. And she played piano too, and she was like, I would play and I knew you were listening to it, because I loved the sound of the piano. And it was when I was like 2 or 3, maybe even like 3 or 4, I would not sleep unless piano music was playing, specifically Yanni. I freaking loved Yanni. Like, if Yanni was playing, I could actually sleep. So I've always been curious about that, and it only makes sense that they could hear or at least feel it, and that would change how they develop mentally. I can only imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure there's been studies. I don't know.
Yeah. No, a lot of things are like, you'll experience it someday, I'm sure, when you're pregnant. And I'm hoping to have one more, maybe in like a year. We'll see.
Yeah.
But building a human being and being able to do that as a woman is one of the most privileged thing of life. Like, it's the most privileged I've ever felt, because I'm like, okay, God has given me the gender where I can actually create, make a human being inside my body. I mean, of course you need men. Men are absolutely important. Without men, you can't do it. But to be able to like grow a life for 9 months inside of yourself, it's like one of the most magical experiences, and it's very difficult for women, and it's easy for others. It just depends, but it's still magical. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Even just the psychological aspect of it, like, it's absolutely, uncomprehendable. I'm a very empathetic person. I'm trying to like feel what that would feel like, and I'm just looking down like, what? I don't even know. It's so, did it feel distant? My mom would always be like, she was like, I didn't know if I was going to have puppies. Like, she felt so detached until she actually gave birth to me. Does it feel almost alien?
Well, it also depends. Like, some women, like, I had to have a C-section, which means I basically had to have her cut out of my uterus because I went into labor. Well, she didn't drop. Like, this is a long story, long labor story. I'll spare you the details. But I had to have a C-section, which was not planned, and it shocked me. And I wasn't really like wanting that. So when I have natural birth, so it was hard at first. But then, of course, I'm like, I was attached to her when I could. I mean, you start to feel the kicks, right? And my baby likes to kick. She loves to move. She's a squirmy little kitty. Like, she squirms around. When you see her at night, because we have the little baby cam on her crib, literally like 50 times, like maybe more every night, like moving, like throughout 10, 11 hours moving. But it's hard when you have a child, like, you grow that baby and then you have the baby. Growing the child is an experience for the mom, and then having the child is an experience that you share together. And that is kind of like, okay, well, it's one-sided, and then all of a sudden it becomes two-sided. So
it's life-changing. That's why it's life-changing. I'm sure everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's natural. It's natural. You'll figure it out. It's not like.
Yeah.
It's not. The scariest part is like if you have a great pregnancy, like no pain or anything, and then all of a sudden the labor comes. That's the scariest part. Is like 9 months of amazing feeling, and then all of a sudden you have to have the worst pain in your entire life. So.
Yeah. Did you have any, is it like, I forget what it's called, prepartum.
Well, now they have drugs.
They do separate.
You know, they have drugs. They've had them around for a while. What?
Do you know what I'm talking about? Like when you give birth and then you have like a postpartum depression or something like that?
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't have it.
Okay.
I had,
So it was joyful after the pain. There wasn't, yeah.
I did have experience, like it's because I nursed my child. So I did experience like letdown depression or like when you're nursing and there's like milk coming out, there's this like all of a sudden it's called a letdown. So it's basically milk just starts coming out. Like it's like not a lot, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, the baby gets it.
Yeah.
So during that process, I would feel like a slurge of depression. It was just like sadness. And then it would go away. It'd be like a minute. And there's a name for it. I forget the name. There's some acronym or whatever. You know, there's acronyms for everything these days. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it wasn't too bad. A minute's very short. So.
Yeah, I know. But that's if you're breastfeeding like 8 times a day, you know.
Yeah, I can
ends up being a lot. But it's not that bad compared to what some women feel, which can be extreme depression, like feelings of suicide. It's not good. And they're developing programs for that now. In fact, where I come from in Pittsburgh, I have a friend from high school whose wife committed suicide from postpartum depression. So
oh my God.
He started an entire wing of a hospital.
Can you even imagine that? Can you even imagine that?
No. He started an entire wing of a hospital dedicated to her. It's called the Alexis Joy Foundation. And they've gotten a ton of backing and support, and it's become a thing now. So there's support for women who have postpartum depression, which thank God, because it's horrible to have to deal with that. I think they got Chrissy Teigen on there. Like there's some spokespeople on the team now, which is good.
Because it's supposed to be the most amazing gift of life to have a kid, you know, like that's something everybody wants to experience. But when you think about it on just a hormonal, like biological level, I think that's what triggers all of this, because then the woman just feels like their job is done or something. Is that kind of how it's triggered?
It's entirely hormones, like balance, like there's nobody knows.
It's not really rational. It's all hormonal.
It's kind of just like, you know, cancer, like we can like some cancers we understand, some cancers we don't. Like it could be genetic. It could be just like, you know, something they drank that changed the like internal makeup of their hormones for that day, which changed. Like you don't know. Yeah. Somebody, like I have a friend whose dad just got really sick from, has lung cancer. He hasn't smoked a cigarette in 25 years. Wow. And it's like, he just got stage 4 lung cancer. How does that happen?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So
was something maybe just dormant in him for that long. That's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that.
So yeah, it's very similar, like in terms of you don't know if you're going to get it or not. There's no way to predict it. Pregnancy is, I mean, thank God for Western medicine. But even so, like women have this, like, I'm going to have my baby this way, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to plan it like this and this. And God bless you, but you're not.
It's not going to go down that way.
Like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not going to have any epidural. I'm not going to need any medicine. I'm strong. I'm a woman. I can do this. Okay, the first 9 hours after labor, I mean, you know, I had a bad contraction. I said, give me that epidural. Yeah. And I threw up. It was like, not even just throw up. Like I did throw up, and I was like, it was the worst pain ever. Yeah. I got the epidural, and then like another whatever, 12 hours later, it's like, okay, you need to get a C-section, because
after all of freaking that, oh my gosh.
So men don't have to do this. They don't have to.
So how do you think this, I mean, I understand on the emotional side, it's been life-changing, all of this. What kind of music have you been writing after all of this happening?
So I've been writing a lot of, well, I've written some really awesome kid songs like Baby Burrito. Baby Burrito. I do that for my little Sierra when I'm wrapping her up after her bath and we put her in the towel. She looks like a little burrito. It's so cute. The little face sticking out like Baby Burrito. So I've written a couple kid songs. I've written some just life songs, like country style songs, but not just country. Some pop rock songs. I've been kind of all over the place. I don't have any specific style. I've just been writing what I
saw a couple lullabies as well.
Oh yeah. I've been doing some lullabies too, but I haven't been writing those. I've just been turning like popular songs into lullaby because I think it's kind of cute.
Yes, you did the Justin Bieber one, and what was the other one?
Harry Styles, Adore You.
Oh yeah, Harry Styles. The Bieber one wasn't really a lullaby. That was just the same piano sound. He had like the little roads kind of happening.
Yeah.
But
I slowed it down. Yeah. And then it was like, okay. But I'm not done with the lullaby series. I've just taken a break because I'm really busy getting my certification to be a teacher. So,
what are you getting into?
Music. I'm still teaching. I'm teaching music.
Okay, but you're getting certification for it?
Yes. So, tour life isn't always going to be a thing, especially right now. Hmm. So, I want to make sure I have like something. So, yeah.
Do you like teaching?
What?
Do you like teaching?
Yeah, I do. It's so, it's another thing where it's like, I love writing songs and I love performing. But when you teach, you can actually, it's frustrating, I'm not going to lie, really freaking frustrating. Mm-hmm. But it's also very rewarding because, like, you can, when one of your students gets it and, like, figures it out because you help them get it, it's so rewarding. Like, you get rewards in that way. Where it's not about, like, oh, my God, I have $1 million in my bank account. It's, like, a reward of, like, you helped this student, like, kind of blossom.
Yeah.
Maybe not, like, huge, but this little extra petal on this flower that you helped him get or get, that's one of the most rewarding things you can ask for.
I think I gave up on that too early because I taught piano and voice and quote-unquote songwriting, just sitting there with younger teenagers being like, show me the song and, okay, well, maybe if you did this, like, oh, well, I don't know how to accompany myself on that part, just helping them through that. And I hated it. I just hated it. I am too impatient. I did not have it in me to, like, be calm. Like, I was towards them, but inside I was just boiling. I just want to do it myself. I don't know. I don't have the temper for it. But I think if I had stuck with it a little longer, I would have seen more of those things because it's so amazing to be able to contribute to someone's musical journey.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is not everybody has the same love of music that you do. And yeah, that's where it starts to get cheesy. They don't all learn the same way you do. And, like, that's the thing that you have to realize as a teacher. Yeah. Is like, okay, I can demonstrate, like, I believe in demonstration for sure. Like, I can demonstrate it for you and show you what to do, but you just are a different person. So it might not work for you the way that I teach, but we'll try different ways. At the end of the day, you might not have the same goals. You know, you might not want to be a professional musician. You might just be doing this because your parents are making you do it, or, you know, whatever. And that gets frustrating because then, you know, somebody doesn't really, as who I am, like, I know how hard it is to make it in the real world, and there's no way any kind of like lack of practice and laziness will get you there.
Right. And to any of your students now currently, or just people who want to get in music in general, would you recommend getting into music right now to someone?
That's actually a really good question. You know, I would say I've always wanted to build a team, but like a team that works for one another. And depends on what stage you are in. If you're looking to like hit it big right now, I think if you can build something right now, it's a great building time. Build it. If you're looking to make money right now, not the best time. So I wouldn't, you know, if you're looking to build and like learn, yeah, you know, build a year, 2 years, come up with something cool and like show it. But there's no way. And then there's the thought of like, okay, well, everybody's going to be trying to gig next year once the pandemic's over. Like, how are any of us going to even get a gig? Because
it's already hard.
Gigging.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's enough for everyone. There is.
Yeah, I agree.
Like having the mentality that like there's only so much for this person, so I'm going to give up. That doesn't work. You just say, you know what? I got my thing. I got my act. I got my shit together. I'm going to do it. So I would recommend it for somebody who's serious. And I would say you're not going to make money in it right now. And you're probably not going to make money in it for a little while.
Right.
But you can make money in it if you really want to.
For someone who you would give that advice to, who you think is ready or in a place that they don't need money right now, they don't care about that, they just want to build something, what advice would you give them? What would you tell them to focus on right now? Because it is a weird time in the world right now with COVID and everything. You can't book gigs. You can't do that kind of stuff. So what would your advice to be to build right now? How would you do that?
Figure out your marketing plan, your business plan. Doesn't matter. If you're an artist, you know, if you're a songwriter, build a team, make a team, find people who like you like to write songs with, find people like you all complement one another. That's important, making a team. Because then it's like you have your own business and now's the time to build. That's what I think. If I was, you know, 18 years old and I was just getting started, I would be trying to build and finding those people, not being naive about it either. Don't just take anybody that comes along that's like, oh yeah, I believe in you and you're a great singer. It's like, no, be smart about it.
Yeah. I think there's a whole wormhole we could go down with that. The naivety and the dreams that people sell, especially in LA, and finding people that you can, first of all, jive with and work with well is one thing, but also trust, because there's a lot of people that just say that they're doing all this cool stuff and say that they can do all these cool things for you, but can't.
Yeah.
Still in dreams that they can't sell. And I fell into that a lot as a young artist. And I've definitely had my heartbreaks and, you know, my years of, you know, just trying to find people to help me. And kind of what I've come to is I rely on very few people now. In fact, I employ people only. Maybe I have trust issues, but I do everything myself. And if I need help, I hire someone, because anytime I've been in partnerships, that something happens where creatively something goes off the road, or their goals and what they want don't align with mine, or their motivation goes down compared to mine, and it's like, I'm the only one pulling this dang thing anyways.
Yeah.
How have you navigated that? Do you have a team? What the freak? It's hard.
It's exactly that's
Yeah.
what I have to say about that. No, I've had teams, and it's just gotten to be a little bit tricky. So no, I don't have a team right now, and I think you can do it without a team, but you got to be able to do everything. Like, you got to be able to do your graphics. You got to be able to do, if you're going to outsource. I wish I was an engineer, because then it would make my life a lot easier, because I could mix and master my own music, but I don't like it. I don't like engineering. Sorry. I don't like sitting there and like tweaking frequencies and like doing all that nerdy stuff, which is amazing, but I don't like doing that. I want to write a song. I want to play the music. I want to perform it. And it's like, nowadays, like, these songwriters that, like, they're engineers is what they are.
Right.
They're making it big because they're able to sit there
and do it all by
and
themselves.
make their own songs and tweak their own music, and then also shoot their own visuals, like graphics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they're doing really well, and I applaud them, but I don't want to do my own pictures, and I don't want to mix my own music, because I do want to mix my music, but I don't have the interest in it as like much as I would just rather play the song and write it and like perform it. And then
are you the kind of person, when you're in the studio, you like to collaborate and bounce things off of people too?
Yeah,
because that's the whole thing. That's the whole, it influences the song so much to have that feedback there too.
Yeah, it depends on the person there too. Like, I've been in the room with some songwriters where it's like, right. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But I've been in the room with songwriters that are like, oh, okay, you've got some really cool, fresh things to say, or melodies, or lyrical lines and phrases that are interesting, instead of just like this, same old redundant, like whatever.
Yeah. Do you usually bring a already ready song to the studio, or do you like to start things from scratch with people?
Yeah, it depends. I usually bring a song that I've already had worked on. Sometimes I work on something from scratch, like completely, but I usually have like a really almost a complete song, at least like piano vocal wise, ready to go as a suggestion. And it also depends on the purpose. Like, am I the artist, or am I writing with somebody else and we're just writing? Like, right. That changes, what I bring in as well.
So I know your credits as a keyboardist, but have you written for other people as well that I would know?
I haven't had any official cuts, but I've written with other writers who have had some, nice placements, and with major artists, and that's been fun.
You like it? You like writing for other people?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a totally different thing, like you're saying. How do you think the mindset is different for you when you know you're writing for someone else, and do you even know who you're writing for when you're writing it?
Yeah, for the most part, you're in a room with writers, and you have kind of like an idea of what you're doing. So it makes it better, because then and it's not just you. Most of the time you have like at least one or two or three other people to write with. Mm-hmm. So you guys are kind of bouncing ideas off. It's not as personal, I would say, so it's not as hard. Mm-hmm. When you're writing for yourself and there's someone else in the room that's writing for you with you, that can be a little hard.
Yeah.
Because it's hard it's not everybody gels, you know.
Right.
It's like friendship. Like you're not going to make friends with everybody in the world. Like you can try, but it's not even friendship. It's almost like marriage. Like songwriters writing for artists, that's like a marriage, and producers as well. Like I don't gel with every producer, and like the producers that I do gel with, it's a very special relationship that
whether
I don't
you like it or not too, because I have had a few situations where people that, you know, it's fine to work with, but then something goes a little weird at the end or whatever, and all of a sudden I say I have a kid with them and it's forever, you know, like anytime something goes down with that song, you got to hit up the baby daddy and and see what's up. So it's tough. You have to be careful who you work with because of that, because it is much more of a commitment than you'd think.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
For sure.
Okay, so I wanted to ask too, because I know that you were keyboardist with the B on Say. Are there any just juicy details, moments that highlights that you look back on that you just love about that team and everything that you did on those tours?
Let's see. It's just nonstop. I mean, that lifestyle was just go, go, go. Everybody was on this like wavelength, you know?
So you guys clicked.
Yeah, but they were also on their own clouds. It's weird. We're like in this space together, but we don't want to be on the same stream. We're just parallel at the moment. Because everyone's kind of trying to do their own thing and like get the attention of the other person. And it was awesome because like Lay Twins went on and they won whatever that dance competition was with like J-Lo as the judge, and some of the dancers went on and did some amazing things. Some of the musicians went on and did great stuff too, touring with other artists. But at the end of the day, it was a moment of time that you wish you could continue forever, but know that it will never be able to be repeated. So you just cherish it. So yeah, it was, as far as like juicy details, there's nothing like, it was like, yeah, the hard work, dedication, just, I never got so close to Beyonce that I was able to like know her innermost secrets, but I do know that she was a lion.
Yeah. Such a fierce.
Very fierce, and you could see it when she was about to get on stage. She was like, all right.
Different person.
She's not like that, I don't think, like as a person, but when she goes on the stage, she's ready to go. And that's how you have to tackle. I mean, if your job is a stage, like what you do is standing on a stage, like you have to approach it that way. Otherwise, like, how else are you going to perform?
Right.
We're all performers.
She calls, just from over the years, I've heard she calls herself Sasha Fierce. That's like her inner spirit animal that she like calls to go on stage with.
Yeah.
Does she have any like weird rituals or anything?
I don't know about the rictuals. I just know that
she like clicks
there
on.
was that one picture that I'll never forget that stood out in my mind. Because when we were on the stage, like I was on stage, right, like all the way to the right, and there was like several staircases that led up to the stage, but there was one. Sorry, my nose is running a little bit.
Is it allergies or have you been sick?
It's not COVID, but I definitely have a runny.
You had a little bit of something, something. Well, I'm not worried because I can't catch it from here. So
I think I got it from my daughter. She had a runny nose like 2 days ago, and then now I have a runny nose. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
it's fine. Like, it's whatever, but it'll be gone in like a couple days. I just have to do my what's it called? The Pure Mist. Pure Mist. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, I have one of those. I do that sometimes, but have you tried a neti pot?
Yeah, but the neti pot sometimes, I don't know. Pure Mist is so good because it's like a steamer.
You just inhale only. Yeah.
And you can put essential oils in it too. It's just like amazing. Anyways, there was a staircase right behind where I was. There was one to the right of me, but like right behind to the left. And she was getting ready to come up stage. And somebody snatched a picture of her. And I saw this picture in life too. She was just like, and like her hair was just matched. She looked like a lion, like about to climb the stage. She like angry, about to like, go out and kill it, get that prey. So that's like the eagerness and the drive that you need to go out and look at your day and your life and like what you're doing. It's inspiring. So I'm really inspired by that for sure.
Yeah. I just had on the 2 episodes ago, I had, I don't know if you know him. His name is Charles Wilson. You know him?
No, I don't know.
No, Leon. Okay. I wasn't bracing for it. No, but he played with Rihanna and Timberlake, and he was telling us about how it was like, what people don't really realize with touring is that the stage stuff is like 2% of it. It's like the working with the team and like making sure everybody's cool with everybody and that you're traveling with each other all the time. You don't want to be on anybody's bad side. How much of that calculation and like people work was it for you with this team with Beyonce?
I'm a very easygoing person. I get along with everyone, so it wasn't that hard for me. It got a little hard because of other people's strong personalities that might have an influence on me, but it wasn't bad. I wouldn't say it was hard for me. There was other tours where I butted heads with some of the other musicians in the band, much worse than with Beyonce. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you're very easygoing. That's very cool. And this is honestly like what I totally forgot about this too, because I just know you as you. But like, I met you because of Six Flags. We had the same gig for 2 seconds, and I was there much longer than you. I know that you went off to do much cooler things than I ever did, but that's how we know each other. And I find it to be kind of funny because you did Beyonce before that, right?
Yeah.
So how did you even find out about that or even care to do it?
It was a gig and it was local.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of local consistent gigs.
Yeah.
So that's where I had found out about it, and it was like not that far from where I lived, and it was a season. So I was like, all right, well, I can do that. I didn't know what it would entail, like dragging your keyboard back and forth and all the other cool stuff that went along with it, but that's why I didn't continue. But for a while it was good, and there were certain, I met some awesome musicians there, including yourself, that I would not have met. So I'm actually glad I did it. Looking back, in the moment, I was not the most happy about it.
Yeah.
But looking back, I'm like, okay, I met some friends there, and it was nice. So
it's kind of weird because it's like a small, big world. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everybody in a lot of different circles from that one gig. It's really weird.
Yeah. Musicians are always looking for their gigs. Yeah, you're looking for the gigs, and like,
Right.
whether it's high, like, even if you're on a great paying, high paying gig, like, they don't always last forever.
Yeah.
And you're always looking for something. Like, even if you have a great gig and it is lasting forever, and you're on salary, on your time off, you want to play. It's not like you want to sit at home not doing anything. So
Yeah, I mean, that's what I loved about it too. You know, it was multiple times a week, same place in town. That's hard to find. And the other keyboardist there, Bonnie, she was playing with Selena Gomez, and that's why she left. I came just in time, kind of thing.
yeah.
So I don't have any cool credits like that, but I feel it feels cool that, you know, I stood on the same platform as y'all awesome stars. So
Yeah, I know, it's awesome.
yeah, it's one of those paying those dues gigs. I can't say that. Paying your dues gigs, but it's consistent and it's worth it, you know, for a short time. But
100%.
so what's next for you? Tell us where we can support you and follow you.
So I'm going to release my album soon. So that's coming. And I'm at Dani Ivory everywhere, DaniIvory.com. Subscribe to my email list.
2 eyes.
I promise
right?
I'll start bothering you on my email list soon, but I'm very quiet at the moment. But I will, so I have Dani Ivory, just Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. But if you just go to my website, you can subscribe. I will send you an email soon about everything. I'll have some new music to share that I've been sitting on for a while. So I've been waiting.
That's going to feel good. That's going to feel good getting that out. And it's for everybody just listening, because this is going to be on podcast outlets as well. It's Dani Ivory, DaniIivory, right?
It's 2 I's, so DaniIvory.
Oh my gosh. I've always seen it as I for the ivory part, and wow, my dyslexia has really come in this moment. It's Dani Ivory. That's it. Got it. 1 eye for ivory.
Well,
Lord.
No, 1 eye for ivory, but 2 eyes total in the middle.
They're together, but my brain.
Yeah.
Don't ask. Dani Ivory everywhere. Thank you so much for being here on my podcast, Boss Pod. You're a total boss girl, and I can't wait to hear that new music.
I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you for being here. And this is the end of episode 12 of Boss Pod. Thanks for joining, y'all. Have a good one.
Peace.
What's up, YouTubers? Thank you so much for watching this episode of Boss Pod. If you liked it at any time, please smash that like button for my algorithm's happiness, and be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss an episode. A new one pops up every single Wednesday at noon Pacific time. That's 12 p.m. PST. And leave a comment down below if you have anything to add to this conversation, or if you have a request on any other creative bosses you would like me to have a conversation with. See you next week, y'all.